truck data. It's all around us. It surrounds us and binds the trucking industry and fleet managers together, and it's a big topic here at TMC and a big deal at Cummins. The X15 GHG27 engine is the most connected Cummins engine yet, and we're going to figure out how fleet managers are able to put those new metrics to work to make their fleet even more efficient and maintain uptime. Let's check it out. We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, connectivity, data. A lot going on with the new Cummins X15 and GHG27, so let's jump into it. How connected is the new engine?
All of our X15 2027s are connected. It's either going to be through an OEM first fit device or our own Acumen device, which is a smart hardware component that enables things like real-time monitoring, over-the-air capabilities, predictive insights. So they're all going to be connected straight off the line.
Okay, one quick thing on that is that the Cummins solution or the OEM supplier solution, is that customer driven or OEM driven?
No, it's OEM driven.
Okay, so I would get through there.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Well, let's talk metrics, because I think this is always one of the best things. What are those operational metrics that we're looking at for the new engine?
So for fleets with access to that real-time data and insights, they're going to be able to manage their maintenance events better, right? So moving from that unplanned event to a planned event. We're able to give them predictive insights and they get those notifications through the portals. So again, that allows them to proactively schedule those items. With some of the remote over-the-air capabilities, they can enhance performance without downing their trucks. So it keeps them on the road doing what they need to be doing.
Okay, there is a lot going on there too that I'm very interested in. I want to get the real-time aspect. I think as we're seeing more and more data flowing off the trucks and that how different is that being able to see it moment to moment versus kind of delayed and after the fact?
I think it adds huge benefit to the fleets in terms of just their downtime and what it costs them to take those vehicles out of service, right? So if we're able to give them those insights ahead of time, they're not spending excessive amounts in the service bay trying to get those things fixed. We can get parts there before they even get into the service bay. And again, like I say, with the over-the-air technology, they're not having to wait for a service event. They can do that as those calibrations and parameter updates need to happen.
Well, and I want to understand that too, because I think that's kind of a heady thing to wrap your mind around, that there's a fault code that's triggered, but oftentimes that can be fixed with a software update, right? So that's a software thing. So to your point, I'm not having to come into the bay to get that software flashed. I'm doing that like my phone over the air.
Yeah, it'll come through to the portal and tell you that there is a calibration available. Fleet manager can approve it. It'll buff it to the engine, and the driver then interacts to say, yes, we can successfully do the port over now, and it's done, 5 minutes.
Okay, very cool. One other thing you mentioned that I want to dig into, because we hear about this, the predictive side of things. How does that work, and what are you able to look forward and recommend?
Yeah, so right now we have a couple of models available, mostly around the NOx sensor, mostly around sensors, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
And we're able to predict in mileage terms how soon you should bring the truck in. So we'll alert customers through the portal again, and we kind of prioritize the notifications for them so they know what they need to address when, and they can kind of bundle that. So we are also looking at moving from component level prognostics to more system level prognostics. So that's in the future, something to look forward to, and I think again it'll really benefit fleets in terms of that unplanned downtime. Yeah,
I mean, I love the mileage hard number there, because I think we've talked about it in kind of these general magical terms, right? But when you're able to give me a range so that I can work it in, I think that's super interesting there. How will customers interact with this? Now, I know you mentioned there's the OEM portal and the Cummins portal. Let's deal with the Cummins portal side. What's that interaction like, and how do I see it?
Yeah, so I'm going to say that we want to have insights where fleets are going to use them, right?
Okay.
They need access as soon as they can so that they can run their operations. So if they're using an OEM portal, we have our data directly integrated into those. If they have an Acumen's module on their Cummins engine, they will use virtual vehicle, and they get all their insights through that. And if customers have their own fleet management systems, some have homegrown solutions, we can integrate with those as well. So they can get those insights, like I say, where they need them so they can make those decisions quicker.
Very cool. The other part of this, I think, is understanding and actually using it, right? And even at this level now, it's changing from maybe what they were used to, right? I mean, there are those things that you always look at from a fleet operational standpoint, idle time and time in cruise, but now I have all this real-time data, I've got this predictive maintenance. How do you work with customers to make sure that it's approachable, right, and they're using it?
Yeah, I think firstly we need to understand what the operations are for those unique customers. They're all different, right? So we work very closely with our fleets, our rental companies, and our end customers to understand their operations, and then we use our data to kind of get to those solutions. And their feedback is really important because we're feeding that back into our development teams, and we're coming up and improving our models and our digital capabilities. So we have visualization tools, and we use the platforms that really take this complex data and make it something that they can use and they can manage through.
Right. Yeah, and I love the bit about still working with the teams, right? I think oftentimes we think data and connectivity will remove the human aspect, when really it means we're communicating more about the right things,
Exactly.
I feel.
Yeah, we're enabling those business decisions, right, to keep their operations going.
Right. Very good. Thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it.